Hanzhou. I want to have a child with you. Ata gathering with Fu Han's his friends. His first love Lin Yao ignored my presence and spoke to him in our hometown dialect, but you don't have to worry. It's just borrowing a little seed for in vitro fertilization. I won't bother you. You know I'm against marriage. The people in the private room glanced at me with amusement and then joined in the teasing in dialect. I don't think Hanzhou would agree. After all, his fiancé is here. I thought Fu Hanzhou would refuse outright. But to my surprise, he held my hand tightly and looked at me with deep affection. How could that be? I believe Anren wouldn't mind. Would she? Everyone looked at me as if I were a fool, thinking I couldn't understand the dialect and would go along with Fu Han's his words, but unexpectedly, I directly picked up the wine glass from the table and splashed it onto their faces, saying in their dialect, I do mind. The private room fell silent instantly, as if the sound of a pin dropping could be heard, but now I don't mind. Let's cancel our marriage. I calmly stood up. Still speaking in their most authentic dialect, someone in the private room shifted slightly, and Lin Yao wiped the water from her face with a tissue, trying to cover her embarrassment, and ran. What are you going crazy about? I was just joking with you. Was it really necessary to react like this? I'm sorry. I never joke about things like this, I said seriously. Fu Han's his face also showed some anger. The beads of water on his face seemed to be the coldness that had emerged. And ran. Apologize, why should I? Just a moment ago, I was calm, but at this moment, because of this sentence, I almost cried. No one knows how much effort I have put in over the past 10 years to fit into Fu Han's his circle. Fu Han's his parents mind that I am not a local, so I worked hard to adapt to the customs here, the food I dislike, the weather I don't enjoy, and the habits I find unappealing. All changed one by one to accommodate him. I catered to his preferences, striving to become his ideal type in his heart, and even deliberately took time to learn the dialect from the locals here. The dialects of coastal areas are almost like foreign languages. No one knows how much I suffered to learn these words. It was only tonight that she finally thought I could understand what they were saying and fully integrate into their circle, but unexpectedly, they had been treating me like a fool all along, even wanting to humiliate me to my face. I told you it was a joke. Fu Han's his voice remained cold, even carrying a hint of nonchalance. Even if it's a joke, there should be boundaries. I am very serious because, in my opinion, this is not a trivial matter. If it were usual, if an outsider spoke to me like this, Fu Hanzhou would have already turned against them, but now he is deliberately making things difficult for me for Lin Yao's sake. After all, they are from out of town. They are really hard to get along with. Is it really necessary to make such a big deal out of this? At this moment, Lin Yao complained a bit, then put on a very magnanimous expression, clicking her tongue twice. Forget it. Forget it. Let's just let this matter go. Let's continue playing. I knew that continuing the argument would bring me no benefit, only make things more awkward. Although I was already crumbling inside, I no longer wanted to put myself in a difficult position. I grabbed my bag and walked towards the door. Hanzhou, I think Anran is really angry. You should go after her. Don't indulge her in these bad habits. Hasn't she always been the one to initiate reconciliation after every argument? Besides, here, she only has me to rely on. Where else can she go? As soon as I closed the door, I heard the mocking voices coming from the private room again. Still, Hanzhou knows how to handle his wife. After all these years, he still hasn't ran completely under his thumb. She's just a nobody from a small place. Being able to climb up to Hanzhou in Jing City naturally requires her to be a bit submissive. Lin Yao's triumphant voice came from inside. I thought after so many years of breaking up, your taste would have improved, but it seems not so great after all. I asked that so. I think so too. Those from out of town always seem a bit lacking. Fu Han's his indifferent voice came again. But it's been 10 years. I've gotten used to it. My heart felt like it was being cut by a knife, and tears finally streamed down uncontrollably. But this time I would not look back, perhaps seeing that I really wasn't going back. Fu Hanzhou called several times, but each time I hung up. He was never a very patient person, and after 2 or 3 times, he just stopped. After returning home, I started packing my bags. Just as I finished packing, Fu Hanzhou stood at the door with a cold expression, seeing the luggage in my hands. His face darkened even further. Anrin, have you had enough of this? What happened today was just an accident. Didn't Lin Yao already apologize? Fu Hanzhou, you actually planned to have a child with Lin Yao a long time ago, didn't you? I didn't want to beat around the bush with him, so I directly exposed his lie. A few months ago, you said you were on a business trip, but in reality, you were accompanying Lin Yao for a checkup, right? Fu Hanzhou's expression grew colder and ran. Are you spying on me? I threw the list in my hand at him. I'm not that bored. Not long ago, when I was washing his clothes, I found a hospital examination report and thought he was unwell. I knew he often stayed up late working overtime. So I bought him a lot of medicine and supplements. It's ridiculous. Now she finally understands that he went for a checkup just to make it easier to have a child with Lin Yao. Fu Hanzhou, holding the crumpled report I had wrinkled, finally understood what was going on, but he still didn't think there was anything wrong with himself. Instead he said, Anrin, you know Lin Yao's situation. She's an anti-marriage advocate. It's just that when she reached the age for marriage, she couldn't explain it to her family. So she wanted to have a child. I won't marry her. And even if we were to have a child, it would only be through IVF. There won't be any physical contact between us. Is there anything else you're worried about? I only found it incredibly ridiculous. And the fire that had been simmering inside me could no longer be contained. I questioned loudly. So will that child call you dad in the future? Or does that child also have a share in your future wealth? Anrin, Lin Yao is not as despicable as you think. Fu Hanzhou's face was serious and stern. Yes, Lin Yao is not despicable. I was just overthinking it. So let's end this between us. From now on, you can have children with whoever you want. After saying that, I was about to grab my luggage and leave, but Fu Hanzhou stopped me. Anrin, know when to stop. If you dare to walk out of this door, it will be completely over between us. His certainty that I wouldn't leave filled my heart with an indescribable bitterness. If it had been before, I might have been threatened. But not now. I shook off his hand and resolutely walked away. As I went downstairs, the sky had already begun to sprinkle with light snowflakes. My heart is as cold as the sky over Jing City. Fu Hanzhou eventually caught up with me. When he looked at me, there was a hint of anger in his eyes. But upon seeing the hurt in my gaze, his tone softened. Anrin, I know you can't accept this right now, but you also know that Lin Yao helped me during my most difficult times. If she weren't a staunch anti-marriage advocate, we would have been married long ago. Now she just wants a child. That's not too much to ask. To brazenly have an illegitimate child. And he still thinks that's not too much. She helped you, but I saved your life. I put down my suitcase, lifted my shirt, revealing a scar on my abdomen. Have you forgotten? If I hadn't taken that knife for you back then, you would have been dead long ago. If he wants to repay Lin Yao's kindness, then how should her kindness be repaid? Fu Hanzhou stared at the scar on my skin, which had long been tattooed with his favorite gardenia, and was momentarily stunned. Perhaps it awakened the most painful memories of his past. He took a deep breath, leaned closer to me, squatted down, wrapping his long hand around my waist, then pressed his face against my abdomen. He still spoke in his gentlest voice, saying words colder than the wind and snow. So give her a child, and then I'll give you one. Isn't that just perfect? I never thought Fu Hanzhou could be so shameless. The love of the past vanished in that moment. Ran. You know I don't like to owe others. Giving Lin Yao a child means I'll have no more worries. Otherwise, you wouldn't want me to marry you while still keeping her kindness in my heart, would you? I couldn't hold back any longer and pushed him down to the ground. Fu Hanzhou, you make me really sick. Just get lost. I hailed a taxi with my suitcase, letting the increasingly large snowflakes fall around me, not looking back. And I wouldn't look back again. Fu Hanzhou watched my silhouette but never chased after me again. I had nowhere to go and temporarily stayed at a hotel that night. I thought about booking a flight home, but due to the heavy snow, There were no flights available. The nearest flight was scheduled for the following afternoon. I wasn't in a hurry. Instead, I calmed down. The next morning, the doorbell of my room rang. I thought it was the cleaning staff. But when I opened the door, I realized it was Fu Hanzhou. I almost closed the door without thinking. But he propped his hand against it, saying, and ran. There's a limit to unreasonable behavior. Know when to stop. Fuck your know when to stop. I cursed directly, and taking advantage of Fu Hanzhou's momentary shock, I slammed the door shut with force. But this time it still didn't close, because at the moment the door was shutting, Lin Yao rushed over and got stuck right in the middle of it. The door hit her. It must have been very heavy. An ran. Are you being too much? Fu Hanzhou said coldly, holding Lin Yao protectively in his arms. His gaze icy as he looked at me, although I had already given up on him. I felt a chill from that gaze. Hanzhou. It's fine. Lin Yao suppressed the pain and smiled at him, then turned to me, and ran. I have something to say to you. In the end, it was about the matter, not the person. Although I didn't like Lin Yao, I had just bumped into her, and deep down, I felt a bit guilty. So I agreed to her request. Fu Hanzhou didn't come in. He just stood at the door. I knew he was afraid I would hurt Lin Yao. Anren. It's useless if you don't agree to this. Before I could grasp what was happening, Lin Yao was already caressing her belly, speaking with a tone of pride. The meaning was clear. She was pregnant. I was surprised deep down, but upon reflection, everything made sense. The last checkup was several months ago, so it's quite normal to be pregnant after such a long time. She knew I could understand the dialect and said it on purpose for me to hear. It's not even a test tube, baby. It happened when Hanzhou was on a business trip and got drunk. He never wanted to tell you, fearing it would upset you. But don't worry, I will have the baby, and I won't disturb your marriage. I didn't say anything. I just felt it was utterly absurd. Lin Yao smiled again. Besides, we've been together for so long, and you still haven't gotten pregnant. Don't you find that strange? She instinctively glanced at my abdomen. I heard that you were injured when you saved Hanzhou back then. This is the thing we are least willing to bring up between us. So. Did Fu Hanzhou even tell her about something like this? You are very lucky. Hanzhou is someone who cherishes old feelings. He will definitely marry you. If you wish in the future, you can also bring this child back to raised. I looked coldly at the person in front of me. Do you want Fu Hanzhou's love and his family fortune as well? Raising her child, and in the future inheriting the marital property between me and Fu Hanzhou. They are not only shameless but also disgusting. Lin Yao brushed her hair back, exuding charm. At first, I thought Fu Hanzhou's heart was cold, that he would never fall in love. But it wasn't until I saw the way he looked at you that I realized he is capable of love too. When I was with him, I didn't get to enjoy the things you seem to obtain so easily. Why do you deserve them? So, I've changed my mind now, after saying that. She deliberately fell onto the bed beside her. I was surprised deep down and hadn't reacted yet when the sound of the door opening rang out. Lin Yao said with grievance, and ran. You and I both know you hate me. But you can't just lay your hands on me like this. I instantly understood what she meant. When Fu Hanzhou came in, I also raised my hand, ready to strike back. How can you not take the act seriously? Lin Yao, the things you cherish, I no longer care for. If you want Fu Hanzhou, take him, and yes, I am injured, but I am not unable to give birth. Stop using children to disgust me. I did not lie. The doctor said my uterus was not harmed. I am not unable to give birth. So. How did she come up with the idea that I can't have children? Anren, you've gone too far with that. Fu Hanzhou rushed over, almost without hesitation grabbing my hand, and directly slapped me across the face. Lin Yao is trying to help us by persuading you. If you refuse to listen, that's one thing. But how could you hurt her? When the slap echoed, the three of us were stunned. I have been with Fu Hanzhou for so many years. He may not say how good he is to me, but at the very least, he has the basic manners of a gentleman. As for hitting women, Not only could I never do that to me, but he wouldn't do it to any woman, but now. She actually hit me for Lin Yao, yes. I knew it all along. No matter what I do. Lin Yao holds a different position in her heart. Fu Hanzhou looked at his own hands. Also in disbelief. A hint of guilt in his cold eyes, but at this moment, Lin Yao was clutching her stomach. Hanzhou. My stomach hurts. The guilt on Fu Hanz's face vanished, replaced by a look of anger. Anren, if anything happens to Lin Yao, you won't be able to bear the responsibility. After saying that, he pushed me down and rushed towards the big bed, carrying Lin Yao and running out. At that moment, Lin Yao flashed me a smug smile. Heartache and anger were eroding me, but more than that was rage. I can be hurt by love, but why should I take it out on a scumbag? I no longer hesitated, picked up the glass cup from the bedside table, and threw it at Fu Hanz's back. Fu Hanzhou. I didn't touch her. You're just an idiot. My parents have never hit me. What right do you have to hit me? I'm going to call the police. My attitude was exceptionally resolute. I could leave quietly if I was hurt. But if someone openly hit me, no one would have it easy. Hanzhou, hurry and go to the hospital. Lin Yao leaned her face against his chest, saying with a pained expression. My stomach hurts badly. Fu Hanz's face had turned as cold as ice. Anren, it's only because Lin Yao is magnanimous and not holding it against you. Otherwise I definitely wouldn't let you off today. Don't worry. I won't delay Lin Yao's treatment. I'll call the police to the hospital. But I didn't touch Lin Yao at all. I want to see how she continues to pretend. Lin Yao's face was pale, and she didn't expect me to be so relentless. She hurriedly said, and ran. I know you acted out of anger and lost your rationality, but I forgive you now. It's just that the child in my belly, well, it's still early, so we should go to the hospital. Fu Hanzhou looked at me and said, Anren, if you still have a conscience, don't go too far. After saying that, Fu Hanzhou carried Lin Yao out the door. I certainly wouldn't let myself be bullied like this, so I followed them to the hospital. I just wanted to see what was wrong with the child in her belly. Under my gaze, Lin Yao finished her examination. The patient is not in serious condition. The doctor said, she's just pregnant, but it's early in the pregnancy, so be careful not to engage in strenuous activities. Lin Yao pursed her lips, but I was just pushed down. The baby won't have any problems, right? Currently, there are no signs of any issues. If you're still worried, then you can stay in the hospital for observation for a while. I said again. So that means the child is fine after all. Fu Hanzhou shot me a cold glance, then turned to comfort Lin Yao. You're fine because the child in your belly is strong. But that doesn't mean Anren is innocent. I stood by, listening to these words, feeling an unbearable ache deep in my heart. Years of love and a life-saving grace turned out to be no match for a single lie from a first love. Anren, you saw it too. Lin Yao is pregnant, and because of you, she almost had a miscarriage just now. But the baby is safe now. Lin Yao doesn't want to dwell on what just happened. She just wants to rest. So you can go back. He paused. But don't worry. I told you. I will marry you. And we will have children together. He spoke those words as if he had bestowed upon me a tremendous gift. And I should be grateful and accept it. My heart, though already merged with ice and snow, still felt a sharp pain. I looked at the two of them with sarcasm. Your matters may be settled, but ours are far from over. I called out to the outside. Officer. It was I who reported the case just now. The police officer in uniform walked in, and Fu Hanz's face darkened directly, and ran. Don't be relentless and ungrateful. He just couldn't understand. Lin Yao had already let her go, so how could she still dare to call the police? I looked at Lin Yao's pale face and smiled. It's hard to say who is truly ungrateful. Fu Hanzhou patted Lin Yao on the shoulder. There's no need to be afraid. Then he looked at the police officer and said, Officer, you arrived just in time. I just saw Anren push the pregnant woman down, and I witnessed it with my own eyes. I had thought of Fu Hanzhou as shameless, but I never expected that he would lie through his teeth for Lin Yao. He chose without hesitation to stand on the opposite side of me. I thought I would be very sad, but in that moment, I wasn't. I looked at him with sarcasm. My calm demeanor caused him a flicker of panic. He leaned in closer and whispered in a voice only the two of us could hear. Lin Yao has already let you go. But why are you being so relentless? She is now pregnant and simply cannot endure such turmoil. Don't blame me for lying. Because this is what you should bear, but rest assured. I will still keep my promise to marry you. At this moment, I was not flustered. In fact, I even smiled while looking at him. Hanzhou didn't understand. Clearly, the current situation was unfavorable for me. So why was I still smiling? It was truly because he usually spoiled her too much. Thinking he was just joking with her, officer. This is the hotel surveillance footage from just now. You can see for yourselves what happened. His astonished expression. I took out my phone and played the surveillance footage from the hotel. Everything Lin Yao did and every word she said were crystal clear. Lin Yao, who was watching the commotion from the side, changed her expression. Hanzhou, I'm sorry. I just felt unwell at that moment and went straight to bed. It was my mistake. Hanzhou also did not expect the truth to be like this. Yet he still did not stand by my side, but instead loudly questioned me and ran. Are you being too much? How could you install surveillance in the hotel? Why can't I install it in the hotel where I live? Over the years of following Hanzhou, I haven't learned much else, but I have learned how to stay alive. I stayed alone in a hotel last night, and I was already scared, so I set up a mini surveillance camera indoors. Just in case something unexpected happened, what was originally an unintentional act became the key to proving my innocence. I have grown accustomed to Fu Han's blatant favoritism, officer. I did not push the pregnant woman. Rather, I have been wrongfully accused and beaten. I hope the law can restore justice for me, this time. I will not be soft-hearted. Nor will I let them think I am easy to bully. Hanzhou and Lin Yao went to the police station. Since I am unwilling to settle, they all have to be detained. However, Hanzhou was quite capable and quickly found a lawyer to get out, but Lin Yao wasn't so lucky. She was probably going to have to give a statement and would stay in there for a whole night, and I never thought that such a small matter could actually keep her inside for so long. One night may know. Teach her how to be a person, but at least it brings me some comfort deep down, taking advantage of this gap. I bought an afternoon flight ticket back home. However, when I was boarding the plane, Fu Han's mother arrived with a lawyer. Speak up. How much do you want to let Lin Yao go? From the very beginning, Mother Fu never liked me. Ever since I got together with Hanzhou, she has never given me a pleasant look. If it weren't for Fu Han's insistence, we wouldn't have made it this far. Auntie, this isn't about money. Stop pretending. I know what you're thinking. If it were before, I could have turned a blind eye. But now that Lin Yao is pregnant with my Fu family's grandchild, 1 million. Sign the agreement and leave my son. I pressed my lips together, looking at the figure in the distance, and instantly smiled. Sure, Mother Fu let out a sigh of relief, but there was still a hint of disdain. People from outside, they only see money. I was already very angry, and this statement made me even more furious. I sneered. Sorry, Aunt Fu, that might not be possible now. You go back on your word. We outsiders are indeed swayed by money, but that was merely the price of the letter of understanding. After all, I did save your son's life. 20 million. Not a penny more. Deal. From now on, I won't appear before you again. However, you will give it to me in a compliant and legal manner. I've seen plenty of the wealthy's tactics over the years. Their money doesn't come easy, and it's not so easy to obtain. I certainly don't want to end up sending myself in. Mother Fu raised an eyebrow but complied, instructing the lawyer to fill in the amount on the gift contract that had been prepared in advance. She called her secretary again and transferred 20 million from her personal account, fearing that if she delayed for even a second, I might change my mind. It seemed she had anticipated this all along, and I didn't mind. I signed the letter of understanding as soon as I saw the money arrive in my bank account. As I was leaving, I glanced at a figure in a corner of the airport and boarded the plane without hesitation. After I left, Hanzhou finally came out from the nearby lounge. I told you long ago. She is only after money. And you still don't believe it. Mother Fu looked at her son, speaking earnestly. All right. Go back and live well with Lin Yao. Fu Hanzhou actually didn't believe that I would give him up for 20 million. If he hadn't seen me take the money with his own eyes. He would have thought that it was Fu's mother who deceived him. He really didn't understand. Although Lin Yao's child was his own, it wouldn't affect their lives. Why wouldn't she agree? Moreover, with his wealth and the billions, even a fool would know how to choose. She once loved herself so much that she could even die for herself. How could she not accept these things? Or was her love for herself all a lie? Fu Hanzhou seemed to be struck, saying to his mother, "Mom, I never thought about being with Lin Yao. From beginning to end, I only wanted to marry and ran." Fu's mother was taken aback, truly unable to understand her son. If you don't want to marry Lin Yao, then why have a child with her? If I were in Ran, I wouldn't want that either. Fu Hanzhou said. But Lin Yao is an anti-marriage advocate. She wants a child just to give her family an explanation. Forget it. I won't interfere in your young people's matters anymore. Not getting married, having a child, and delaying the original marriage proposal. It's truly absurd. Mom Fu left in anger. But Fu Hanzhou felt regret. As for me, after returning home and facing my parents' questioning, I didn't want to say much, only that the wedding was called off. Then I gave them some money, and they shut their mouths. After that, I went traveling. In fact, even if Mother Fu hadn't given me that money, during my time with Fu Hanzhou, the amount he usually gave me, along with the money I had saved over the years, would have been enough for me to live on for a long time. Half a month later, the doorbell of the hotel I was staying at rang. This time I was very alert and did not open the door. I looked through the peephole and saw it was the delivery person before I opened it, but just as I opened the door, Fu Hanzhou stepped out from behind the delivery person. I looked at that still cold face and frowned slightly. Fu Hanzhou, what are you doing here? We shouldn't have any ties left, right? Anrin, you've relaxed and let it all out. It's time to go back. After saying that, he walked around and went inside to pack my clothes. After taking the takeout I just ordered, I got angry. Fu Hanzhou, are you crazy? We've already broken up. Fu Hanzhou, however, turned a deaf ear and continued to help me pack my things. I couldn't hold back my anger and interrupted him directly. Fu Hanzhou, you need to leave. If you stay here any longer, I will call the police. Ran. There's a limit to throwing a tantrum. This time, you win. Come back with me, and let's proceed with the wedding as planned. Do you really think you're sick? Without hesitation, I grabbed a bottle of mineral water from the side and poured it over his head. Are you awake now? Fu Hanzhou caught my hands, and I lifted my face. What? Do you want to hit me again? A trace of apology flickered in his eyes as he reached out to gently brush my cheek. I was just too anxious last time. It wasn't intentional. I pushed him away and called the police. The guilt in his gaze was quickly overshadowed by anger, and he dismissed my call for help. Anrin, what do you want? I've come to find you and even lowered my head to you, aside from the matter with Lin Yao that I can't agree to. They'll satisfy you with everything else. Is that all right? I have already determined that there is something wrong with his mind, so I don't talk to him much. It wasn't until the police arrived that I said, "Officer, someone is harassing me. She is my fiancé. She's just throwing a tantrum." Fu Hanzhou said with red eyes. The police officer looked at me again and asked, "Miss, what exactly is going on? We broke up, and now he's here to pester me." The police understood what was going on and took Fu Hanzhou away. It wasn't until I really left him at the police station that Fu Hanzhou believed I was truly determined to break up with him. As I left, I saw the hatred in his eyes and knew he wouldn't let this go easily. So I bought a plane ticket that night to fly to another city. Fortunately, Fu Hanzhou was only targeting me and not my parents. I spent a year traveling and hiding, until I unexpectedly learned through a friend that Fu Hanzhou had gotten married, and I finally felt a sense of relief. That day, I decided to return to my hometown. A friend in Jing City sent me a message. Did you know? Fu Hanzhou got married in a flash with a blind date. I originally thought that after I left, Fu Hanzhou would be with Lin Yao in a legitimate way. But I didn't expect that they actually weren't. I was a bit curious when my friend sent another message. Did you know? Lin Yao had an abortion. Saying that things that come too easily aren't meaningful. Seeing you leave. Fu Hanzhou's dejected appearance made her very happy. She actually didn't like Fu Hanzhou that much. But she just couldn't stand seeing him so happy. I haven't replied to the message yet. And she sent another one. Chattering away, the Fu family is really angry about this matter. They've directly arranged a marriage partner for him. Mr. Fu, who was previously very resistant, suddenly agreed. Hearing this, I felt a bit puzzled. Does Lin Yao really not like Fu Hanzhou? No. She wouldn't mistake the look of love. Lin Yao couldn't possibly not like Fu Hanzhou. Nor could she give up such a good opportunity. There must be some hidden circumstances behind this, but none of this has anything to do with me. I returned to my hometown overnight. I originally thought this matter would just pass. But that day, my friend sent me a message. Did you know? At Fu Hanzhou's wedding, the bride backed out. I heard that Fu Hanzhou said in front of the bride that he was infertile, and if she could accept it, the wedding would continue. The bride immediately cried and refused to go on. By the way, is it true that Fu Hanzhou can't have children? I heard that when you saved him back then, he was injured in a critical area. It can't be that he really can't, right? I suddenly understood why Lin Yao chose to terminate her pregnancy, because that child was not Fu Hanzhou's at all. Or perhaps, after Fu Hanzhou learned about his condition, he forced her to terminate it. I was lost in thought when a noise came from outside. When I went out, I saw Fu Hanzhou sitting on the sofa. While my parents were warmly entertaining him, I felt a bit irritated and found an excuse to take him outside. Fu Hanzhou, are you done yet? I questioned. Fu Hanzhou pressed his lips together. I've already made it clear to my parents that the Fu family's assets will be handed over to my brother, and I can stay by your side forever. Heh. What makes you think I would go back to you? Fu Hanzhou was taken aback. Then his face filled with hurt. Anrin, the child in Lin Yao's belly is not mine. If it's not yours, then didn't you spend that night together? Fu Hanzhou felt a lump in his throat. Anrin, even you care now. Do you also despise me? Fu Hanzhou, it's already over between us. Just go. At least don't make me feel disgusted by you. I thought this time Fu Hanzhou would react as fiercely as before. But unexpectedly, he was very calm this time. Anrin, I know you're not happy deep down. But don't worry. I will wait. I thought he was just saying it. But I didn't expect he was serious. The next day, when I went out, I ran into him coming out from the door across the hall. Good morning. I looked at the smile on his face and found it incredibly blinding. If it were in the past, even if I knew that Fu Hanzhou couldn't have children, I would still remain steadfast and never leave. After being disgusted once, all those pure and beautiful feelings dissipated. The once hoarse resentment now seemed utterly meaningless at this moment, leaving only indifference and calm. Fu Hanzhou, stop wasting your efforts. It's over between us. And I won't turn back. It's okay. I know you're angry. I'll wait. He insisted on it. And I had no choice. Over time, the neighbors inevitably had some unkind words. Later, I made a bold decision to leave the city with my parents, planning to travel for a while. It was only 6 months later that I learned Fu Hanzhou returned to Jing City shortly after I left. He thought you didn't look back because of his infertility. So after returning, he used high technology to prove that he might still be able to conceive. Unfortunately, it all failed. My friend spoke endlessly in the video. However, speaking of it, although Fu Hanzhou lost his ability to conceive, he did uncover the truth behind the injury he suffered back then. I was somewhat astonished. The truth? Yes. It turns out that person was hired by Lin Yao's ex. Because Lin Yao was too timing. She thought Fu Hanzhou had taken her away, so she hired someone to take action. However, that person didn't know that Lin Yao and Fu Hanzhou had already broken up long ago. I was filled with emotion. 2 days later, I received the news of Lin Yao and Fu Hanzhou's deaths. The two of them fell from a building together. 3 years later, I returned to my hometown with my parents and married my blind date. A year later, our child came into this world. The end.